let's talk about how we can adjust a sketch in order to fit our needs. So I went through all of my sketches, and when I put them into my binder, I actually put the number of photos on here. Now, normally I don't even look at that number, but it's there in case I want to. I just kind of count the number of photos. You can pretty easily tell if there's 1, 2, or 3. Well, this time around I do have 3 photos that I wanted to use. And the inspiration sketch that I'm using is this September 15th, 2014. And the reason I liked this was because it had all of the photos in kind of a corner. So I am using this Lost in Neverland by Echo Park. This is an older collection. 2019 it looks like is the copyright, but I think it might be even older than that. It's cute. I really like it. The reason I picked it was because there's red. Honestly, I went through and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to find a collection that has red. And this one popped out to me, and just so happened that one of the 4x3 cards is perfect for my story. Little ones should never be sent to bed. They always wake up a day or older. And these photos are almost a month apart exactly. And so I wanted to convey that in my story with this Lost in Neverland. And this title is perfect for what we're talking about. So let's talk about the sketch a little bit. My plan is to have my photos in the same areas, the sketch. So I am going to take it, and there's a reason I have this circle here. You'll see in just a minute. Let me put that sketch here so you can see it. We are going to go in order. So this actually is going to land right here, and it's covering up my moon, but I still wanted a moon. So I went ahead and made my own moon by using a stencil from Lawn Fun, and that's just the Lost Shadow on top of white pigment. I think I should have just used Lost Shadow. You can kind of see a little bit of the darker area where I tried to use this. It's going to get covered, so I went ahead and did Lost Shadow over the whole thing. But I'm going to have my photos land just like the sketch has. So just like that, you can see very, very similar. And now I needed to figure out, okay, how am I going to get these strips of paper? Well, it didn't work out that way. I'm not going to use strips of paper, but instead I'm going to use some tags that I created from the 6x6 paper pack. Every once in a while I get a 6x6 paper pack and I use it for scrapbooking, but I usually try to stay away from the 6x6 paper pads. So that's going to end up right there, just as a kind of base for my photos. And then the reason I did tags is because I thought they kind of looked like bookmarks. Just a little nod to the fact that this is a story. So I might need to trim these just a little bit or move this up and down kind of thing. What happens when I'm done with this whole layout here. So I thought they looked like bookmarks. That's why I did a tag motif. And I do want to shift them down. There we go. Perfect. And then I've got my other tag over here, and that's going to land like right there. So my sketch, I've got paper over here. Now I got paper over here. And I want to bring in the feathers that is on my title to be right there, something along those lines. And what I noticed here is they've got butterflies, 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 but their title is on a circle. So I decided to do circles instead of butterflies. So I cut this out with my die cut machine, and they're just some stitched circles. I think that's super cute. And I'm going to kind of layer that up. Just like that. And then I've got another stitched circle with the 6x6 paper. It's actually the back side of this. And that's going to land somewhere like that. And then my third circle, so I've got 1, 2. I was going to put it over here, but because I added these tags, it didn't make sense to have this over here. Instead, I'm going to have a circle here with a little lady looking up at the moon. So not only is my son looking down at the moon, this lady is looking up at the moon, which I think is cute. And then I'm going to add that. And so I've got these 2 pieces up on foam. Now I have this up on foam. Then I've got a sticker that I want to place right about here. So I'm going to have to kind of finagle this a little bit. And it says, "I love you to Neverland and back." And then I've got Tinkerbell, cute little Tinkerbell. She's going to land kind of in that circle. And then I can't not do something to this circle. So this is going to be the clock tower with a moon on it. So I've got moon in a couple different places. I've got my son in this Wendy darling looking at that. These people are sleeping. So it really emphasizes the fact that little ones should never be sent to bed. They always wake up a day older. My journaling is probably going to go down here, and I will most likely use the same color I did with the background of this photo for my mat. And then there's also one other thing that I want to add to this. I want to add some texture paste to it. So I'm going to use the Ranger texture paste to add some stars in a couple different places. So I'm probably going to add a couple stars on this blue. I want to add a couple extra stars up at the top here. And I want to add a couple stars into this tag. So let me get this all adhered, and then we will work with that texture paste. So I have everything adhered except for the items that are on foam. And I did that because I would not be able to get a clean stencil if I had my items on foam. So to use texture paste, I have a palette knife and my texture paste and my stencil. Now I always use a stencil with my texture paste. If you want a pattern, then you use a stencil. And I am trying to do super thin here. Just want a little bit of these stars. Now this texture paste that I have, and I'll list it down below, is acid free. So I'm not worried about it on my scrapbook pages. Now if you make your own homemade texture paste, then you're going to need to be careful of that. And my stencil is too small for this texture paste, so I am actually going to grab another one. It's my backup plan. I really like this stencil. I've used it in the past with modeling paste or texture paste. I'm having difficulty because my texture paste, this is a brand new bottle, is dried out. So just a heads up, this stuff does dry out pretty quickly, I guess, because this is a brand new bottle. But I'm just adding a little bit there, and then I want to add a big star right in that corner. Now I have to be kind of careful. I'm going to rotate this. Yeah, I want that big star, because you know there's the big star on the right, or whatever the saying is in the movie / book. First star on your left. I don't know. Something in the comments, you can help me out here. But I know there's something about a star. That's part of the reason why I picked this stencil, because I know there's something about stars. Boom. Now that looks a little thicker. Well, that's because this texture paste is, again, very, very dry. Okay. Now when you're using texture paste, you do need to wash your stencil right away. So that's why I'm having to use a couple different stars here. Okay. And I want another couple down over here. Now the white's not going to show up as well on this cream background as it does on the black, and that's okay. I just really want kind of just a pop here and there. I'm going to add some more to the background. So the way I'm using this texture paste is just to add a little bit of something to the background to really emphasize the story. My paper is a night sky. So I think that's super cute. So what this is going to look like, it's going to have this right here where you've got these stars right around that little boy's head. And then you've got me, and then I've got the title. So perfect. And that's it. So I will post close-ups so you can really see that texture paste in reality. I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.